welcome to Wired Dairy. Today we're going to work on an equipment tour. So first up is the 9220. I purchased this tractor a couple years back, I think in 18 even. And this tractor came from a John Deere dealership down in Illinois. The next stop on our equipment tour is our gravity boxes. This one and that one. They were both purchased on an auction way a while back. These are ones my dad purchased. Next we have our 2555. That was purchased, well actually it was purchased new by my dad and his brother, and then he bought it on the auction they had before we moved out here. This is our grinder and mixer. It's a, I don't know what number it is, it's just an old International grinder. It was purchased on the auction from the guy we bought this farm from. Next we have our sprayer. I purchased this from a private guy, I think in 17. We purchased this, we got tired of hiring out spraying, so we bought this. Then we'll move on. All of our equipment out is we're rotating stuff. That's the only reason why we're doing it, because it's kind of dark in the shed. Now we'll move on to our John Deere 560M. Well, I guess the sprayer is an 1100 Navigator. Yes. And this is our 560M. We purchased this winter, or last winter, whatever you want to call it, from Midwest Machinery. The 4455. We purchased that from, I forget what it's called, but it's actually, it's now the home of Steffes Auction Group in Litchfield. We purchased this, so I think it's like back in 98 or something like that. We didn't buy it on an auction, they just in between auctions they had this guy for sale, so we purchased this. This is our WD-2303 I-8 self-propelled discbine. I purchased this 19? Yes. I was so mad at our 8450 Heston that we had, because it was just a sickle in the meadow, that I ended up with this. And this discbine here, I apologize, I forgot. It comes from Arnold's in St. Cloud. We dealt with the salesman in St. Martin for it though. So that's where this guy came from. All right, now we made it to our 8300. I purchased this in 17. This here, this is the first tractor I ever bought. I bought it from a private guy off the Craigslist. I like to do a lot of shopping off the Craigslist and Tractor House, but that's where this guy came from. And like I said, it is my first tractor. It's kind of a tractor growing up as a kid is what I wanted to own someday, so I bought one. All right, this is our 7720. I don't know if you can see, turbo. We purchased this from Wilmer in Arnold's in Wilmer. We purchased this 7720, and the oats head came with it also. I forget what year it was. It's been a while. All right, well, we're continuing on our equipment tour. Here is our 6750 self-propelled chopper. We purchased this from Arnold's in Kimball, and that is also where our hay head came from. It is a 640A. Next we have our H&S rake. It is a 14-wheel rake. I purchased this from a private guy. I don't know when. I think the chopper was a fall of 17. Then we have our Gale Tillage box. It is a Gale 980. This was purchased in 18. One of the first things I bought after I bought the farm. This also was purchased from a private guy. Here is our H&S 860 blower. The older of the two, I think. Dad bought this from Melrose Implement. Brand new, I forget when. It was like 2000. Okay, moving on. Yeah. You guys see the kitties? I don't know if I did, so. All right. Then we have our Alice Chalmers, a 7020. We bought this, I don't know, sometime in the late 90s, mid 90s. This actually came from Sauk Center back when it was Heartland. It's now Midwest Machinery. Excuse you. This is our newer of the two H&S silage blowers. Purchased that from a private guy this winter. And we have our silage box, the H&S 7+4. They're 16 footers. There's this one here. How do you work that? Oh, I can't, it doesn't work. Here. There. Oh, and then there. No, it doesn't work like that. And then the other one is over. These actually were purchased new from Melrose Implement, both of them. I would assume they must have back-to-back serial numbers because they were ordered from the factory. They didn't even come off a lot, so I don't know for sure. But so we have that one and that one. So I apologize, it is going to be a little dark in here, but I'm going to put silage boxes back in here, so it's not going to work out very well anyways. So, this is our James Way 7,400 gallon liquid manure tank. Ooh, and it's dark. If you want to see better pictures of it, then watch some manure hauling videos. We purchased this from Iowa, a dealership. I don't know if I can say it correctly. Whatever this is. Zoki's sales and service in Iowa. Whatever. I'm horrible at pronouncing names. And, well, I just really don't care half the time. So, there's that too. Here is our S185 Bobcat. We purchased this, I think, in 2010. The tank, I think that must have been like a 15, I bet you. This was bought from Arnold's in St. Cloud back when they still had Bobcat rights. Then when Arnold sold to Arnold's, then they lost their Bobcat rights. And then now it's Farm Right. I think Farm Right pretty much has everything around here. All right. And we have one more thing back in the corner. We put the 92 away. I know it's a little dark. Everybody will get over it. I know I will. So here is our John Deere 643 high tin cornhead. This right here came from Haas, another name I can't pronounce, in Litchfield. When we went to Narrow Rose, we had to get one of these, so that was exciting. All right, I think we have more things, a couple more today. I gotta get back to work, and I'll finish the equipment tour. Well, for you guys, it'll be like right away, but for me, it'll be a couple days. So, off to the next thing. Okay, still dark, apologize, I forgot. We're going to bury this here. So this is our corn head for our chopper. It is a 666R. We bought this from an auction because Arnold's wouldn't sell us the head because it already ended up on a Steffes auction thing and they couldn't take it off. So we ended up getting this off of that. I hate auctions. They drive me insane. I'm not a fan of them. Raising the price, I like to go down in price. I don't like to go up, and it boils my blood, especially now with all the internet crap. You know, you like to look in the eyes of the jerk who's bidding you up. Now you don't even know if there actually is somebody bidding or they just know you're a sucker. So I try to buy things online once in a while. It hardly ever happens. Then next we have our Arctic SPX 800 manure spreader. Bought this brand new in 2020 from Dairyland Supply. So glad we bought it. Okay, I think we have a couple more things for today, and then we'll move on tomorrow. I don't know, did we do the 6320? I don't think we did. So this is our John Deere 6320. This actually, I forget what year it is or year we bought it, but this actually came from Modern Farm up in Sauk Center. Somebody traded off a JBC, or somebody traded for a JBC telehandler and traded this in, and then we got it. This is our John Deere 336 small square baler. I don't know if we did it. As you can see, the old man was doing some modifications to it today. There's some over here too. It's kind of one of those things that if I would actually find a decent baler somewhere, I would buy one. But to find one with a kicker and a 348 is, for a reasonable price, is kind of expensive. So this was bought on auction from the farmer who previously owned the farm, and that was back in '95. This is our cattle trailer. It's an SS Duraline. Bought that new in 2018. The other one was a rust bucket, so it was time for an upgrade. We're down to one more thing, I think, today, and then I gotta get to work. We'll work on the rest of the stuff another day. But we're gonna pack it in the shed, so we gotta get to it. So this is our Miller Pro, what is it, a 1416? I think so. It's a 1416. This we bought in the fall of 17, got delivered in 18. This actually came from Wisconsin. Funny story about this. We went to the Wisconsin Dells for a couple-day vacation. I told my wife that we needed to stop and look at a merger that was on the way. It turns out it was like a 3-hour detour to go look at it, and she was not very impressed with me. But That's what happens. That's what happens when you look at Tractor House and stuff, and then you are kind of, yeah. It wasn't the first time something like this happened, and it wasn't the last time, and I'm sure there will be more. So, but that's where this come from. I forget. It was a John Deere dealership in Wisconsin. I don't know. They changed so much lately because there seems like they're power merging so that everybody can have like 600 stores or something. That way they don't take care of you very well, because nobody can remember what's what. Not that I think that, no, I do think that way about the chain stores. Seems like you better know somebody that likes you, or you'll never hear from them again. So I guess we can do this since it's here. This is our Sands welding rock trailer. Dad bought that new in sometime, I think it was 96. He went to multiple auctions to look for one, and it was cheaper to buy a brand new one than the used ones that he went to, and he got tired of looking, so he just bought a new one. And that is a prime example why I don't like auctions. Sometimes people are stupid. That would be the correct term, stupid. And they pay more than what it's worth. That's why I ended up with that brand new cattle trailer. I went to an auction, and I think for $700 more, I owned a brand new one instead of a 6-year-old one. It makes sense. All right, I gotta get back to work. You guys hang out for a second, and we will get to the rest of the equipment another day. All right, we're gonna try to finish up our equipment tour today. So first up, we have this gravity box. It's kind of dark in here. I apologize, but I'm not gonna pull stuff out. So it has a fertilizer auger on it. We used to use this for dry fertilizer in the corn planter. I got tired of it, so we just broadcast it on. So we bought this at a neighbor who had an auction. Well, it's been a while ago. Next up is our manure pump. I don't know if everybody can see. We bought this from a private guy through Hartung Sales. He bought a new one, we bought his. One of those deals. And you look how close people park, they run into stuff. We did the baler already, so they don't have to do that. And back here is our grain drill. I think it's John Deere AB. We bought this from a neighbor. Then, look at this. Beautiful little spider. Ba-doom. That's a big guy. Let him catch some flies. And back here we have our 400 rotary hoe. So this rotary hoe we actually traded a neighbor for. I actually bought a 20-foot rotary hoe for dirt cheap, but we traded them for this because we actually never used this since we traded. We only used it the year we bought it, or the other one the year we bought it. And I wanted it to fit in the shed, and the 20-footer won't fit in here very good. So he had an 8-row corn planter, so he would rather have a 20-foot, and we have a 12-row, so you're really better off with a 15-footer or 30, not a 20. But the 20 was really cheap, so I bought it. And then we traded them for this one. All right, let's go find some more stuff.
Ah, it's going to get you!
So next up we have a kicker rack. This one's an H&S kicker rack. And the one over here is the homemade kicker rack. We bought both of these from a private guy. I was actually at an auction looking for a kicker rack, and right before the kicker rack sold, the guy came up to me and told me what he wanted for his. And needless to say, the ones at the auction went for more, and we bought his. Also, if anybody cares, this is how some of our corn looks. It could really use some water. Not all don't look like this, but it's surviving, but she sure ain't thriving. So we have this cake conveyor here we bought a couple years ago from the neighbor to get into our smaller barn. We were tired of finagling this one to work. So this conveyor here we purchased on the auction from this farm when he had his auction. This auger here we purchased, oh, it's been a while ago. This actually comes from Rudolph's out of Sauk Rabbits. Anybody in the area knows now it is Midwest Machinery. So, but it was Rudolph's at the time. This disc here, we really don't use it. Actually, I think it's been broken for about 3-4 years. The shaft is laying in the shed. I haven't put it back together yet. But this came from the auction at our farm in Sartell. So this is a white 445, I think, chisel plow. We purchased this from, where did we get it? Schlotterloff in Litchfield. It's what we used before we bought a ripper. I don't really use it anymore. I think the in-laws are supposed to be buying it, but I have no clue. If they don't, someday I'll maybe get around to selling it. All right, so this is our 2700 ripper. We purchased this a couple years back from Midwest Machinery out of their Glenwood store. We actually had a 512 ripper before this that I ran one season, and then I really wanted one of these instead. So I sold the 512 to the neighbor and bought this. The reason is I wanted 724s instead of 530 shank spacing. And you can't get a 24-inch in those disc rippers. I still on the fence which one is better, but I still like the fact that we have the 24-inch spacing because there's a lot of traffic on our fields. Next, we have this Alloway stock chopper. Got this at an auction, dirt cheap. I actually spent more money putting new knives on it than what I paid for at auction. So that was cute. Then we have our 980 digger. Actually, this bought from a private guy. Ooh, this came by Morris. Actually, it was a little west of Morris. That was fun pulling home. I think we only smoked one mailbox on the way home, so that was pretty impressive. And that was because some retard tried passing us going up a hill, and it was either shoving the digger into them or taking out a mailbox. So it wasn't even my fault. This impatient moron who thought that they couldn't wait 5 seconds to get on the other side of the hill. Now we have our Bale King bale trailers. These are twins. Purchased them both brand new from Uppsala a couple years back. The reason we got these is because I was able to buy 2 of them for the price of 1 Harms trailer, so I chose that. Then we have some old, what we used to use for bale trailers. I've stolen some tires off of it, so yeah. They came from the auction at the other farm. Someday we'll find a use for the running gear or something. The trailers are junk. And it's weedy in here, but we have 7-section drag that we use for dragging off our hayfield after we plant. That came from an auction. Ooh, it's been a while. And then if you can tell in the weeds here, I'll try to get up. It's a white 5/18 plow. That came from the auction at this place. So this is our JCB SJS 145 LC. I think I said it right. Purchased this spring from I would assume a jockey from Wisconsin. And it just came back from its emissions excitement where I feel like I was violated in the rear end. But is what it is. And that's the thumb for it. We never got it on yet. It's getting more buried. So this is our John Deere HPX Gator. This came from the Midwest store in Glenwood. Probably, ooh, I don't even know. I would say in 12 or 13, somewhere in there. Purchased that. Maybe it was later, I don't know. All I know is this was a pain in the butt to get. I called them a bunch of times and nobody ever got back to me. The story of my life. Finally, somebody actually did, and I went up there and bought it. Must be nice being a sales department that doesn't want to sell things. It was just my experience. So if you're offended, next time return a phone call. This is our lawnmower. It's an LX 288. This we purchased, again, well, probably back in 12 or something. I don't remember what. From the neighbor. We had an old snapper before that. And we got this. And the kids drive it. I don't. I hate cutting grass. It's boring. It's stupid. It's a waste of time. If I had to cut lawn, I'd use Roundup. So this is our third and final kicker rack that we have. This one came from an auction. And then that is all of the equipment we have on the farm. Now we are missing our chuck wagon. The neighbor's actually using that because he was doing some green chopping. And we are also missing our corn planter. That is at the neighbor's. I'm not going to go over there and get a picture. That is a 7200. I'm pretty sure they call it a front fold corn planter. So that is going to wrap up our equipment tour. I hope you guys enjoyed walking around the farm. It took me more than a day to do it just because I'm lazy and have other things to do. But I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to a friend, enemy, or a frenemy. All three options work. Don't bother me anyway. And don't forget to have a glass of milk and eat some cheese, please, and have a good one.
Why did little Johnny drop his ice cream cone?
Why?
Because he got hit by a school bus.